Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It has just been some lovely weather here, I'm telling you. I'm not bragging. I know some of you are experiencing winter. I mean, it's got to be winter somewhere. It is the first week of February, but it's not winter here. It's been like in the 50s and 60s during the day. I mean, we're not even freezing at night. Of course, we're all going to be complaining later on that, well, there's too many ticks and chiggers and all that kind of stuff. But it's been pretty nice here lately. And, the forecast over the next week or two looks to be about the same. There's one day that they're calling for the possible chance of some freezing little snow, whatever, overnight. But the day before and after is going to be in the 50s. So it's almost not even any kind of issue. Did you see what Jerome Powell said? I think it was yesterday. Said that national debt is unsustainable. That the amount of debt the United States is in, it's unsustainable. Well, I completely agree with that. There's nothing wrong in his statement, other than the irony that one of the key people that's caused the debt that we're in is saying that, oh yeah, see, this stuff that we've been creating, this debt, this printing of money and just, making more and more, just adding more zeros, right? It's unsustainable. Really? No? I mean, it's taken you this long to figure that out. Maybe you're not the right person in the job. I'm sure he's the right person for the people that want him there. But if you're just now figuring out that it's unsustainable, China, their economy is not doing so well right now. Bad things in the stock market happening, companies going under. As bad as it looks and sounds, honestly, you have to remember that that's kind of how a market and an economy is supposed to correct itself. I don't think, and I could be wrong, and I don't follow these things super closely, especially with China, but close enough. I don't think that it's an indicator that they're collapsing. I think a lot of people are talking about that. I see it as it's how an economy is supposed to correct itself when it's not backed up by, unlimited mounds of debt, right? Where they can just print, and send their debt all over the world and keep printing, and then back up their markets by, fiat currencies that are nothing but debt. I mean, their currency isn't any better necessarily, but they don't have the option necessarily yet of making the whole world go into debt for their own debt. So it's probably just a correction for them. But who knows? Don't ever forget that one of the biggest things that causes wars to break out between big rival nations is money. It's debt. It's instability in their economy. When an economy starts to go south, one of the best ways to revitalize that and to get people's attention off of it and get out there and do stuff is war. So the worse the economy gets in China and here in the United States, the better chance probably of a war happening. Also in that region, Russia is reporting. Now let me be clear with this. Russia is the only one that's reporting. News in Russia, let's say. The news in Russia is the only one reporting this, that they got word that the United Kingdom will be sending NATO troops into Ukraine, not necessarily in a combat position, but more of in a security position, because it relieves Ukrainian troops to go fight on the front lines. Again, I've not seen any other evidence that this is correct. It could just be propaganda, but it also wouldn't surprise me. It was just, I think, yesterday that Chucky Schmucky Schumer made a statement that if we, meaning the United States, not you and I, but if the United States does not come up with some kind of funding bill really soon for Ukraine, then the United States will have to start sending troops over there. And we've heard this before, but at some point it certainly could happen. So the United Kingdom could certainly be sending, troops over there, potentially. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, I think it's the last thing. I sometimes forget. I'm getting old, and I'm going to be getting older here in a couple of weeks, so maybe it's just my mind. But anyways, um, and I'm not being mean about this, so please understand, but it was reported this morning that King Charles of England has been diagnosed with cancer and is going to start taking cancer treatments. I guess it was a week or two ago. He was apparently in the hospital, and now they're saying he has cancer. I haven't heard any word yet on how serious it is. You know, is this something that, uh, not assuming just normal medicine that you and I would have access to, and of course, you know, he's going to have access to things that you and I don't. But putting that part aside, do they think that it's serious enough that he may not make it? Now, I want to go off the rails here in a second, go into the weeds, down the rabbit trail of some conspiracies. This is something my wife and I have talked about a long time, that it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. I'm not saying that this is true or that I fully believe this, because I know there's going to be a lot of argument and debate on this, that maybe his son, William, could be potentially the Antichrist. I'm not going to go into lots of details of why we've talked about that. I'm not saying we believe that. I'm saying we talked about that. But a lot of it has to do with, if you dig kind of deep into the British crown, a lot of they think that they're kind of rightful heirs to the throne of Solomon in Israel. And apparently there's rumors and conspiracies that they actually have that throne that he sat on in the Solomon's temple, and all kinds of stuff like that. And then you go into even more conspiracies and stuff regarding the royal family and all their illicit activities. And you know, you could certainly make a case for it. And I'm only bringing this up because there has been, not just myself, but others, and, you know, talked about how the son, not Charles, but Charles's son, could be the one, potentially could be the one. And I know that the beast isn't necessarily a one thing, but the human representative is what I'm saying. The person to bring and unify everyone together. It's possible. I don't know. It's something that as soon as I saw that, I was like, uh-oh, I wonder if we're leading somewhere. And even if he's not that person, I'd say that most people didn't think that Charles was going to be sitting on the throne for very long. I personally could not care. I'm not one of these people that give two, you know, whatevers to about the British crown. But I do know that in the matters of the globalist elite and all those kind of people, it is important to them. And I mean, he's old. I don't remember how old he is, but I think he's in his like late 70s or something like that, maybe. And the possibility of him dying soon and his son taking over. If that happens, I think it could drastically change things even worse when it comes to even if he's not the kind of the beast kind of guy, you know, the Antichrist kind of thing. Could he be, you know, someone someone that would kind of unify people, the world, at least some of the world, when it comes to all of this globalist, you know, great reset plan? It's possible. And so it's something to watch, I guess, a little bit. I've been kind of adamant, though, here lately that while it's definitely good to keep on top of what's going on in the world, I don't want people to become so addicted to it, you know, that they're kind of obsessed with it. Because I think what happens for folks like us, for preppers, you know, we're awake, we know what's going on, we know what we have to do. And I think sometimes that we do our prepping and then we get stuck in this kind of cycle of just focusing on what's going on because, you know, it helps us become a little bit more prepared. It helps us to get a little bit more ready. I think it's good, but you know, too much of a good thing can be bad. And I think we become, I don't know it's not addicted, but maybe it is, that we become obsessed with it to the point that we stop really doing anything. We stop really getting any more prepared. We've convinced ourselves that the foods that we've stocked up on or the things that we've done is enough. You know, it's enough to get us through, and then we focus on all of that kind of stuff, what's going on in the news and the conspiracies and everything. And hey, I'm the kind of guy that's always up for a good conspiracy, but we also cannot forget and cannot stop doing what we need to be doing. We have to be moving forward and getting more prepared. We have to be prepping up in the physical ways of food and all of the other, ammunition and the water supplies and, alternative energy systems and making sure you have medical training. But, we also need to be getting our physical bodies. We need to be, getting healthier. I talked about that today over on the Locals channel, which if you haven't been over there in a while, my wife has been feeling a little bit better. She's not completely out of the woods, but she's back on over there. She's talking. She kind of goes in a little bit more personal detail about what she's been going through, and she's been posting recipes and stuff like that. So if you go back over to Locals, you'll see that and kind of get a little bit more detail on what she's been going through. But we got to get ourselves in better shape. Got to get ourselves physically in shape, mentally in shape, and definitely spiritually in shape. And then, continue building relationships with the people around us and potentially finding the people that we're going to kind of ride out the storm with. Doing it alone, for most people, is not a good idea. There are some out there, I know, that can handle it, that could be a lone wolf and be successful at it. But the average person is not going to do so well being a lone wolf. And so, yeah, you're going to need people. We were created to be with people. And so you need to be doing that. I'm telling you, I feel in my gut, I don't really have anything else to back this up, but my gut, I think that, still think, and I've said this for a while, that this year's going to be this is going to be a big year, and we're up for something happening. If you just kind of read the tea leaves in the news and the stuff that's going on and not become obsessed with it, it doesn't take too long to figure out that things are really kind of moving, and so many things just seem to be right on the knife's edge. And I think we're up for some pretty bad stuff in the near future. I may be wrong. I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't think that I am. And I'm telling you, folks, you need to be getting serious. That now is not the time to slack off on the physical stuff that you need to be doing just so that you can, consume more, news and fear and, all this kind of stuff. You need to be getting ready physically, doing stuff, stocking up, getting out there, making sure your stuff works, pulling stuff out, getting your gardens ready. I know it's still the winter time, but if you can't physically get them ready because it's winter, then you can at least do the stuff inside. Make sure you got seeds and tools and manure and all the things that you need for it. I don't think we have a long time left. Again, I could be wrong, but I don't think we do. You need to be getting your houses in order and preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.